We good, Roger?
We're good.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. Can I have proper notice confirmation, please?
Notice was posted November 15th in accordance with the statutory requirements, and the mailing of the budget went out on a timely basis, also prescribed by statute.
Oh, we just on the ball. Pam, will you give us a roll call?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
It's in here somewhere.
Okay. Anybody's not here to say so.
Nancy Arnold, here. Dick O'Dowd. Here. Leslie Jacobs. Not here.
Nope.
Leslie had a colonoscopy this morning, and she didn't think she'd make it.
But the DVD is coming out Monday.
Thank you for sharing. I'm here. Steve, to you.
You're looking that way?
Dick Piccola.
Dick's on vacation.
All right then. Jim Munson.
I'm here.
Marty Kaufman.
Marty's still up north until Christmas.
Monica. Hi, here. Didn't see her either. Tammy Alborn. Here. Chris Perry.
Here.
Debbie Dial.
Debbie's in Costa Rica.
Oh. John Humphrey.
John Humphrey's in Cuba.
Sweet. Sue Downs. Here. John West.
Here.
All right, once again, welcome everybody. This is the Wildewood Springs Board of Directors meeting. And ladies and gentlemen of the board, you did get in your packets, I believe, on Friday, minutes of the last meeting. This time the chair will entertain a motion to accept or reject or make any corrections to the minutes. I have a motion by Steve, second by Sue Downs. That was Steve that made the motion, Sue seconded. Question on the motion? Question on the motion. All in favor signify by raising their hands. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Treasurer's report.
I have been informed by our illustrious John here that all is well, but we have got slight variance in the income for the last month or up until this period of time of $60,000, but that's in the reason for it is the fire insurance settlement that we had, and also our generator donation has increased the amount of income that we've got. We've got a few overages, for instance, with the administration due to underage, due to bad debt, and insurance and bank charge savings of $16,000. Chris Perry and Infotech is over budget, but that's based on the change of the website and a few other things that are involved there. Grounds is over a little bit based on the cleanup of debris and tree removal earlier this year. Buildings is over based on the roof issues that we had in the last section of cluster that we were doing. The roof change. Security is under. Yeah, good for you. Based on cost savings on the, I guess the cameras and a few other things like that. Very well done. And tennis and the pools are under also based on the fact that we've had some savings on chemicals and chemistry. Utilities is over based on an increase on water and sewer. So basically we're in good shape with overages and underages, but they should even themselves out for the end.
Are there any questions on the financial summary? One of the things I will comment on, the generator is up and running, has passed inspection, has passed all the documentation that is required, and should we need it, it is ready to go.
Is it tied into the natural gas now, or is it?
No.
Okay.
Had to go with propane.
Propane?
It's into propane right now because TECO, at their last monetary bill that they told us would be, their RFP at that time was $1,500 and change. Was that not wrong?
Correct.
And since they said that, they changed it to over $3,500 and change. So we don't have it running to natural gas yet. However, I think maybe next year we could look at that, running gas line in there. Maybe we could steal it from the pool and not tell people, oh, I didn't say that. That's not for Too bad, too late?
Too late.
Okay.
We also may have a break for a propane, larger propane tank. David has got some avenues of possibly savings for us where we might be able to bring in maybe a 200-gallon tank of propane and not worry about the $2,000, $3,000. So we're working on a couple angles.
See, that type of generator runs one 20-pound tank will run it for 10 hours on a full load. So that means that whole building will run for 10 hours at a straight shot on one 20-pound propane tank, like the one you would put in the barbecue grill. That's how it's designed. And now we have a 10-year warranty on it, I mean that we did things the right way. Okay? So, let's move on to the accounts receivable.
Yeah, the accounts receivable is shown in the manager's report in fairly good shape. We have one unit that is owed between $500 and $1,000. 17 owe 1/4. They should all be wiped out. As a matter of fact, several have come in since this report. And we have 3 units with legal issues. So our accounts receivable are about running at average at this point. Units with legal issues remain the same. Unit 457, that's where the owner declared bankruptcy. In the bankruptcy hearing, it was continued until November 28th of this month. And so we'll know something before the end. The thing that concerns me is that the indication we'd had on the first agreement was the owner was going to be allowed to pay us $205.99 a month, and there are already $8,500 in arrears. That doesn't sound like a very good settlement to us, but we will see what happens when that comes about. Unit 162, attorney letters were sent. The owner has offered, they owe $3,700. The owner offered to pay $500 a month. I rejected that counter offer and made a counter offer of $750 a month, and to make sure that the oversized dog that the renter in there is using is gone for good. It comes in and out, and that's a stipulation if we want to make any deal with the current owner. I signed the lien papers last week, and if there's nothing resolved within the next 30 days, we may have the chance of foreclosing on that unit. Finally, 550 is the unit where the attorney files were messed up on the trust. The trust seems to be straightened out, and I've got word from the attorney for the trust that we will have a check for all owed by the end of this month. So hopefully that gets resolved.
Terrific. All right, any questions on units with legal issue? Going? Okay. All right, here we go. Stack pipe project is almost done.
Well, we're getting there. Stack pipe project, all units in Springdale, Sherwood, Palm Tree, Lakeside, Woodlawn, Oak Village, and Cluster B in Pinehurst Village have had the pipes replaced. In all, 149 units are done, 9 left to do. Actually, after the report came in on Friday, the 150th invoice came in, so we only have 8 left to do, and to date we have spent $421,358.72.
Good. And we're stopping now, right, John, for the holiday season?
We'll have 3 done before Christmas.
Okay.
We won't do anything on we will not do anything next week or this week.
Okay.
We're not starting one this week because of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But the next 3 weeks we'll be doing 1 each,
Okay.
and that'll leave 5 over for the next year, and it'll be all done by first week in February. Finally.
Flood insurance purchase.
No change from the last report.
Okay.
The mailing to the owners to ask for their mortgage coverage will go out in sometime in January.
All right. 120 Pinehurst Drive, unit restoration. We got some.
All right, 120 is now finally gotten off the schneid, as you might say. There was a conflict between the owner hired ServPro to do their work. We had proposals from 3 different cleanup companies, and Expert Water was by far the most reasonable. Currently, The owner has dropped Servpro because of the somewhat conflict, and they're now using Expert to do everything. The coordination is easier. The sliders are in where the glass doors were damaged by fire. Unfortunately, although they were ordered in beige, the provider sent in white sliders, so they have to go back.
Okay.
And the only holdup now is the owner is doing extensive quote-unquote remodeling, and they're changing some things in there, so we're on track to have everything done. We've paid the remedial company $22,000. We still have 17 to disperse.
Thank you. Okay, next item, we're going to discuss and adopt the 2019 proposed reserve and operating budgets. Tom, where are you? Tom, would you stand up and introduce any here, your team from the budget committee?
Oh, Roger is here.
Roger's here.
Leslie's not here, obviously. Anybody else here, really? Sue Downs is here, there we go. And John is at all the meetings too, so that's good. So, and that's about it. So that's the budget that we're putting together, and have any questions, we'll try to answer.
Well, we thank you very much, your team, for your efforts on this fantastic job once again. The only increase you're going to have is the increase in the spectrum change, to $10.80 a month. That's the only change. Now, speaking of spectrum, just out of my curiosity, how many folks, the owners, went ahead, or in the board, went ahead and did the transition and the conversion?
I just got the first bill, and it was great.
Okay, is everything okay?
So far.
Everything went fine for you, everything smooth, everybody's happy with what their bills are going to reflect? Okay. That being said, Chair will entertain a motion to discuss that's for me, I'm a little busy. Discuss the 2019 operating budget or the reserve budget. I will entertain a motion to...
Let's do one at a time.
Yeah, let's do the operating first. I believe you got it in your packets, and I believe you've been looking at it for the past 2 months, 3 months.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the proposed budget as it stands. I believe that's what we talked
On
about.
the operating side?
On the operating side, and with no changes.
I will second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded, discussion on the motion. Further discussion on the motion. All those in favor signify by raising their hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Let's open up the motion to accept the reserve funding. That's the ice maker. Or big rats.
I got the big rats.
John.
I'd like to make a motion. What are we motioning?
The reserve.
Oh, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the reserve plan as written for 2019.
Thank you very much. I have a second by Steve Buell. Discussion on the motion. Remember, we're voting on the reserve. Question on the motion. All in favor signify by raising their hand. All opposed, same sign. Carried. John, can we get it to the bank as soon as we can with the minutes to have those booklets?
Yeah, everything's ready to be sent to them tomorrow morning.
Good.
So hopefully your coupon books, for those of you who use the coupon book, will be out in your hands before the 10th or so of December. They'll be in the bank's hands. So we're going to get it to them tomorrow.
Okay. Chris, you're up. Website conversion. How are we doing?
We're doing, I think, pretty well.
I think so too.
Many of you probably were as surprised as I was about 3 weeks ago. The old company shut our website down, and we weren't quite prepared for that. We weren't sure when that was going to happen, but the reason was that we transferred our domain name. So we are still www.wildwoodsprings.com. And in order to get that over into the new company's hands, it required the old company to shut us down. So we were down for about a week, and then we were able to get that transfer done and get the new website up. I've sent out an email to everyone that had an email address. I have to correct that a little bit. When we pulled over the addresses from the old site, we could only pull over one email address per unit. So we sent out an email to everyone that was first on the list and told them about how to log on to the new site. Many people have been able to do that. There has been a few people that have had a little bit of a problem with that. I would say this, that the normal logon for the new site is your email address. That's different than the old site. And I've noticed that some people, their browser has pulled the old site information over when they go to wildwoodsprings.com. So you got to be careful about that. Use your email address, and then the initial logon, we made the password Wildwood with a capital W. Everything on the new website for the login is case sensitive. So your username has to be mostly all small, and you have to have that capital W on that first password. The site will then ask you to change the password to whatever you want. And that's the way most sites will do it these days. We want you to have your own password. And so, in general, we've had pretty good luck with people getting on. I think the new site has a little cleaner look. It's lighter in color.
Yeah.
And we have most of the same information that we had on the old site as far as documents. We don't have all the photos up. We have the bird photos. We do not have the pet photos. And the reason was, I think we have to revisit that. I know, unfortunately, we have a few pets that are no longer with us. And so we didn't want to put any up that might have happened to. So we have a new for sale and for rent area. And one of the really nice things about it, you go check that out, is you can put photos. So you can, there's one, Mrs. Maker, Marianne Maker, has put up about 7 or 8 photos of the unit she's trying to rent. And I think that adds a lot to your saleability or rentability of your place. Yeah, we have a classified area, we have an announcements area, we have a calendar. Most of the things that we had on the old site are still available. They may take you a little time to find them. They're in a little different place, but we think in general you're going to like it, and you need to just kind of go in there and explore a little bit. There is an area under the About menu which is open to the public. So if you want your friends, your relatives to see what Wildwood looks like, that's a good place for them to go. There's a tour there. There's the documents are there, the floor plans, and so that's a good place to have people go and take a look.
I brought it up at the workshop, Chris. It's reached the European markets.
Oh, good.
My daughter lives in Germany, and she was showing it around to her friends and neighbors over there in Baumholder. So
that's great.
Really remarkable.
If you're still having any problems getting in, try to get a hold of me. Email is kperry48@gmail.com, and I can help you get logged in.
Do you want to hold a class in the future?
We will. We'll do something similar to what they did for Spectrum, where we had people at the office, and we'll have try to get our cluster advisors there and have question and answers for people.
Pam?
Just a question, the login, so like Bill and I would each have our own, we would pick.
Initially, no.
Okay.
We only pulled over one, so that is an issue. The second person's email is not in there yet. So you can register the second one, and have both of you in
So we
that.
just pretend we know which one it is and then.
Yeah. I had that issue with
So you and Bill can't keep secrets anymore.
Oh,
I had one major complaint, and the lady said, my husband did not tell me that he got an email.
Can we put that on the list? Okay, thank you, Chris, and thank you to the IT committee. I mean, good job, super. John?
A quick question, how many of you have been on the website? Old one?
new one.
Super.
The new one you're talking about, John? The new one?
Yes, the new one. Super.
It took a while,
Yeah,
I guess,
big time.
once you get into it, I think you'll find it's going to be easier to get back to it. So
That's nice.
that's first special. Okay.
Okay, 708 Oakview floor restoration, John Harrigan.
No change since the last meeting. The attorney has obviously forwarded the requirements to the owner and
Okay.
to the owner's real estate agent, with no response.
Okay. Communications, I see we got,
We got some?
you want to go through them?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
First letter was sent to the residents in 549. It's Michael Grippo and Mr. Al Harris. They're tenants there. Their cars have been observed parked back over the cement sidewalk where it's problematical for the people to traverse that area, especially go up and down stairs. And they received this letter. We've got confirmation. There's been no response, and my last tour was Friday. I found one of the cars pulled over again. I knocked on the door, nobody's there, so this may have to go further.
Is this the same two
What?
gentlemen?
Yes, I mean,
Can we
they're,
send a letter to the owner too about
yeah,
this?
we'll copy the owner,
Thank you.
yeah.
This is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Can we tow the cars?
We will.
It seems to be an on-purpose situation.
That's going to be the next step.
We're blessed with 3 or 4
Problem
different
child.
unit areas where there's some conflicts.
Okay, let's go to the next one, please, John.
Second letter is to Miss McDaniel, 269 Drive. We found out, of course, we knew her mother was a resident, passed away. It was our attention that a red pickup truck was parked there. It turned out to be the daughter's friend. She responded today, just before I came. She's not residing there. She's living in Orlando, but she's going to come in, fill out an application, and we will not have the truck bother us anymore.
Okay, good.
The next issue is Miss Nancy Olson, 714 Oak Drive. In one of my inspections, I found about 8 or 12 personal articles very nicely perched on top of the fence. However, we have rules against that, and she called me right away and said she'd take care of it, and those articles were taken down the next day.
Okay,
So she responded.
good.
And finally, Mr. and Mrs. Gerald Vansel, 509 Lakeside Drive.
Right.
They called and they reported they had African killer bees on their patio, and they were informed that we would, although it's not the association's responsibility seeing where it is, we were very concerned about it, so we sent the pest control people out there. The pest person confirmed they were bees, but they weren't African killer bees, they were honeybees.
Yellow jacket.
Yellow jackets, I'm sorry. Different. And so, once the owner found out that they weren't African bees, she said the pest control man didn't know what he was talking about, and she asked him to leave the property. He confirmed that they were
Yellow jacket.
yellow jackets. She allowed him to come back in, but we told her that since he sent away and it was a double service call, she would have to pay for the service call now. There'll be no more courtesy. Well, they came back, they killed him. It was
Yellow jacket.
yellow jackets, thank you. And I just got a notice today from the pest control company that they have not paid the invoice, so I sent them another registered letter today.
Well, I'll add to this. This is when you were in Mexico,
Yeah.
and Catherine called me about it. I spoke with Chris, the technician, and Chris, the technician, went over there as a courtesy to other people in the community with the assumption that it could be killer bees. And he turned out that they were just ordinary yellow jackets, and they were hiding. So Mrs. Mansell, I called Mrs. Mansell and let her know what the situation was. She said, "You don't know what you're talking about. I looked it up on Google," and I said, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but we did it as a courtesy, so when the action is going to be taken," she was forewarned by me personally that it was going to take out of her pocket. All right, so the bees in concern were inside her courtyard, which is almost responsibility. So that's how it went. Okay. Which they are yellow jackets. Even if they were Africanized honeybees, they still would have been destroyed by the pest control statutes here in the state of Florida. Okay? So, that's where that went. John, you're going to do a follow-up on that?
I did a follow-up letter today because I got the pass-through notice from the pest control people, and I informed them that should they not pay the invoice within 10 days, it's going to be added to their account and draw interest against it. So they've got a demand for 10 days now.
Okay. All set on that subject. All right. See, how come we don't have
Employee Christmas bonus.
there we go. The employee Christmas bonus. It's that time of year again, folks.
It is that time of year where the notice has been posted today and will go up on the TV that the very generous offerings that the owners have given over the years. It's time to help the boys out again. They are sincerely appreciative. They work very hard. I'm very happy with most of the work that they do, and I'm sure that whatever you feel like you will donate as you have in the past. Thank you.
Chris?
That's for all our hourly employees.
How many employees? How many?
They're 14 this year.
14.
14. Yes, 14. Yes.
Letter said 11.
Well, the letter did. Well, she forgot to change it, and it's not. I stand corrected. It's 13 because I'm not in there. It's 14 employees at all. 13.
13.
Nancy?
That was my question.
Okay.
Oh, well, we usually try to end the drive and have the employee function the week before Christmas so they can get the money in their hands to buy whatever they want to do.
So in by the 20th?
Well, let's see, calendar. I got one here.
Okay.
Who's responsible for picking
We'll
up
put it
so
out.
they don't get anything?
Is there a way to publicize what they each received last year, see if we can at least match it? Because I know last year was extraordinary.
Last year was the best, and I should remember, but I think it was $700 each. December 17th would be the target date.
Yeah,
I know some people have gone north and they've already contributed because they knew they wouldn't be here, so it's kind of started. But that is a nice stipend for them at holiday time for their families.
All right, this next item here, just for your information, is consider the paint and metal hand railing. I'll let you know that we are going to gather RFPs, which is a request for proposal, but there is no money in the 2019 budget to do it this upcoming. So, John, you're going to do that starting the first of the year. We discussed this, right?
Yeah, well, we'll get proposals, so we'll have it, and we certainly could take it out of the painting reserve. We have many people calling and complaining about the metal railings themselves being chipped and need painting. So we'll make a report and we'll see what the proposal is. I really won't know exactly what the price will be yet.
Well, we discussed that at the first of the year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's just to say that I'm going to do it.
I would like to ask you.
Sure.
My husband was in metal refinishing.
Okay.
And are you going to strip those rails off?
I don't know, I wasn't in metal refinishing business.
Well, let me say this, that the proposal will have to be to a long-lasting warranty. So if
Oh, yeah.
stripping is involved, yes, it would almost have to be, you just can't slap over it.
Yeah,
No.
no,
I can appreciate that.
if you're thinking of good brushing, no, just going to brush over.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good question, thank you. George?
I don't know the condition of all the rails, but I moved into an upstairs unit in Lakeside over
Okay.
5 years ago, and we weren't happy with the appearance and even the way they felt. They were all oxidized and dirty.
Okay.
And I'm not suggesting that everybody do this, but I got turtle wax and waxed it like my car. Came out beautiful, nice espresso brown, shiny. And every couple of weeks I would just buff it with a dry rag, and it was like having a brand new car.
We only have
Now, if they're gonna clean them before they paint them,
That's right.
Yeah, they have to do that. Well, maybe you're the answer. We have only 157 more. How
well,
much time
go
do
to
you have?
559. Go to 559 and look at the rail. Go upstairs at the rail, and I actually did the whole banister going down.
Okay.
I didn't do it all in one day.
Oh.
I did 3-4 feet, and then I add to it, and you know.
But maybe a way to go. We'll see.
And I'm telling you, it's like brand new.
The way you can make a rail any color you want. It's whatever you put in to it to color it. You can color it green to make it real oxidized, or you can strip it right down to the bare metal.
Okay.
But in order to preserve it, you need to use a good lacquer.
Okay.
And that
Well, I'm sure the lacquer that they used whenever they paint these is long.
they never used lacquer on it before.
Oh, I don't know. I have no
They
idea.
didn't. No.
The metal railing.
All right,
There's 158 metal railings.
same amount of stack pipes as there are metal rails.
All I'm saying is they can be waxed just like your car, and they come out
In the
shiny,
meantime.
shiny and clean.
Good point. Thank
John,
Timing-wise,
Don't
would
stop.
it be better off doing them now, between now and the first of the year, or after?
Right, Chris?
when the
we
snow-
gotta get the RFPs. We gotta get the
you.
RFPs.
Got it, Eric. It'll take a while to get it.
All right, managers report.
You have a
Well,
copy,
hold on, John, I'm sorry. Dick,
Speaking of railings, is there anything in the plans, work on the steps to repaint them or take care of it?
repaint the steps
Well, that's the wood rail.
as a need basis.
Well, yeah,
But,
we painted all the stairs almost 2 years ago, and it's amazing. They used the best thing with a grid in it and everything else, and the stairs are just getting beaten up. They
Yes,
just
we
are.
have some.
I
The wood
understand.
screen, the
Pardon?
sap's coming out of the wood.
Some of that.
In the air.
Some of
The
that,
wood is
Jeff.
so green that they put down for the stairs.
Yeah.
But I noticed when I go up and look at some of the top slabs, it's amazing. John Humphrey's not here today. We painted his last spring, and the top stair is gone. You wouldn't even know there was paint there. It's bare. And so some of that wood does have some effects on it. But anyway, yes, when it's really, really bad, we try to do one or two at a time. But we really don't have that budget right now to do the stairs and the railings and everything else.
Managers report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
LED lights have been placed in all the garages now. And so, and it's been an extended period of time since we've had any calls for garage lights that we used to get on a regular basis. So this is going to be well worth it. And I'm doing this study to see how much we can save on the electric. There should be some savings involved in it, along with non-repair. Okay? I had somebody call me and say, when is Lakeside going to have them? And I said to her, when's the last time you've been out late? She said, about 3 months. I said, well, you got them. So, they're in. Due to premium increases, health insurance will be about $300 a month more this year for the employees. Sue Downs worked very hard to get us the best issue, the best premium possible, but as she can attest to, it's tough out there right now and everything's gone up, right?
Yes, it really
That
has.
was considered in the budget.
Yeah, we have enough, John, that would do.
It's really gone up for people who are under 65.
No, it's only about 8.
You got anything else?
Yes, sir, sorry.
You don't know,
Well, you did it, you said it earlier, the office generator installation is complete.
right?
The warranty startup has been finished,
Good.
and we're on all we want to do is not have a storm.
Okay. All right, next item, committee reports. Chris, you're happy with what you?
One thing I was remiss, some of our the committee members are here. And
Oh, good.
George and Roger and John were all on our committee. I mean, it's been a process to get changed over to a new site, and they were all very helpful in that.
Outstanding job. Great job, folks. Thank you very, very much.
Chris Perry did everything. He deserves a lot of credit.
Good job, Chris. All right, let's go with committee reports. Tom, you're done. Budget committee is now absolved of all their duties. We appreciate everything you folks did, keeping the costs down and keeping our folks here happy and protecting our investment, basically. Dick?
43rd Street, you may have heard from me before, is going to be worked on in the next few years.
Dick, use the microphone, please, so it picks up on the recorder.
Sure.
Thank you.
Looks like you need to turn it on.
Just push the button up.
It's easy for you to say. We're on? Yeah. As I mentioned at a previous meeting, I think starting in July was the first time I mentioned it and heard about it. And we live right next to 43rd Street, so I volunteered to chair a committee regarding a proposal that the county is going to widen and make all kinds of changes on 43rd Street, which will affect a lot of us. But up until just the last week or two, I've had let's say 1 week, I've had no commitments of any kind. They say we don't know what we're going to do. All we want to do is,
Dick,
in general terms,
Dick,
is to make
hold
it
it close.
confirm.
Yeah, that's it. Hold it closer.
Make it confirm to
Hold the mic closer to your mouth, Dick.
okay to what the other through streets. 43rd Street it doesn't conform to what they want as a through street. They're going to add they tell me, or might add a turn lane in the middle. There's a sidewalk on one side of the 43rd Street. It's on the west side. They tell me they may, or probably are going to put one on the east side, which is our side. They're going to move the telephone poles, probably. They're going to have to, and the lighting system is going to have to be readdressed. All of this amounts to a big deal for anybody who lives here in Wildewood and their condo is close to 43rd Street. And now, the good thing is, it ain't going to happen until probably the latter part of 2023 or 2024. So we've got some time here to prepare for it. And by the way, I just made these up today. It's an up-to-date recap of what they've told me so far. It's not very accurate, but at least we're getting somewhere. And I'm going to leave them I'll put them all on that table back there. When you leave, or now if you want them, pick up an extra copy of this. It'll give you some up-to-date information. Now, speaking of that, since we now know it's going to happen, and budgets are being worked on in the county now, and they're going to be made, I haven't asked for committee members to this point, but I think now, if anybody would like to be on this committee, please let me know. I'm a committee of one right now. But if anybody would like to get involved with this, please give me a call. My email is on the website. Okay? Can I answer any questions for anybody that I haven't addressed? Nope.
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you.
Push the button down. Okay, Tom, if you wouldn't mind throwing some information about the pools, Marty's absence here in that pool committee.
Pools seem to be in good shape. The only problem that I'm aware of in the last few days, you're aware of, it was yesterday, one of the pools didn't get unlocked by security, so.
Actually, two.
67.
We're having an issue, John and I discussed this morning, with parking over a pool 7 on the grass, but I think we came up with a plan to resolve that. One of the other things I wanted to bring up, and Tom, we discussed this about the temperature of the pools. Temperature of the pools, the policy is, in the pool, 86 degrees. In the hot tub, 104 degrees. Other than that, you're gonna have human soup, okay? So that's what the policy is, and that's how it's gonna stay, all right? Okay, on security, thank you for bringing that up. Last at the workshop, I had reported that we had an issue with camera station 2 that has been resolved. The issue was when we did the transition from Spectrum, we were able to negotiate new modems and internet speed for the cameras at a significantly reduced price. We will be saving $3,600 a year on the Wi-Fi internet access of those modems at a greater speed of 400 megs, so we could be able to view the cameras. The issue was finger pointing. The United Security Alliance was saying that Spectrum didn't do this, and then Spectrum said, well, the camera company didn't do that. We went back and forth, they went back and forth, and finally I just got disgusted and I said, I want somebody down here to fix it. I don't care who it is, I want it done. I spoke with tech support at Spectrum, I got some good resolve from them. I spoke with the technician at the United Security Alliance, the camera company. The only thing it's not doing right now is being able to archive, but they're going to adjust that soon. In light of that, they charged us an additional $591 bill that I'm going to be just as slow paying and signing the check as they were to resolving our issue. So and that was because we did go ahead and have Spectrum replace the modems at a different account and change the accounts. So that's what it is on security. All right, John.
At one time, we had the trucks going through with the lights on and so on.
Yeah.
Are they still doing that?
Yes, they are. They're supposed to, once they come on the property prior to 11 p.m., supposed to come on with the lights are blazing. That's to let those know that if there's someone on the property who wanting to do us harm, they would know that there's a security company going around the property. At 11 o'clock, I had set the policy that they would shut them off because we didn't want them going around into the clusters or the areas where people had bedrooms or guests staying in bedrooms or whatever like that, because those lights are pretty bright. And they also use the side spotlights too when they go up and down the boulevard. To resolve the issue yesterday with the pools,
Yeah.
I told the security guard if I have to come out and unlock and lock pools, then what do I need you for? And we did get with the owner of the company today, was it, John?
Yeah, this morning, I talked to them this morning.
They responded to
They
the positive
responded.
about it.
Good.
Okay? So it makes sense, you lock a pool, you open a pool. You open a pool, you lock a pool. We only got 7, it's not like we have 50, 60 pools. Okay, is there any other committees?
Landscape, Pete couldn't make it today.
Okay.
So for landscaping, we're in the process of mulching.
Yep.
All the planting in the front of units have been done now. Pete and I counted the spaces of about maybe 12 plants we need to do, and all the fronts will be done. The concentration on planting will be the sides and the rear next year for the budget. And trees have been planted. 3 trees were planted since our last meeting, including the one honoring Jackie's granddaughter. We put a magnolia tree where we lost a pineapple palm in a very not vocal but focal group area as you go into the 400s.
Cluster K.
Yeah, Lester K. And you, I'm sure if you get a chance to go by, take a look at that magnolia. It's a beautiful specimen, and it was dedicated to Jackie's granddaughter, Jordan.
And I would say that Jackie was really touched, Jack was touched about that. He did respond to the landscape committee, wanted all the owners to know that how gratefully they appreciated that memorial to his granddaughter. All right, director's comments, left to right. Chris, good?
Good.
Dick, you're good? Good. Nancy? Steve? Good.
Good.
Margaret, you're good?
Mulching.
John, you're good?
I have a question, mulching front and back.
Front only until we run out, then we'll see what we got. The budget was set at $15,000. So we ordered $15,000 worth of mulch.
I got a comment. Who's having Thanksgiving dinner Thursday? What time is it serving? Is anybody having chocolate cream? And the other question that I was posed to these two ladies up here, how long do you cook a 25-pound turkey in the microwave?
Change your menu to amplify it, cut it in half.
Okay, owners' comments. Tom?
I've got one. I don't know if it's too late for this year, but if the landscape committee could put together, I don't know what they use for a source of trees either, but if they could possibly put together a list of trees that they want to plant that could possibly be used as holiday trees in the pot, you could put some decorations on it and then donate it after the holiday.
What he's saying, if some of the owners want to go out and purchase holiday trees at the holiday and decorate it for the holidays, and then after the holidays are over, donate it to the association.
Well, that is a great idea. I think we got to bring it up a little bit earlier next year
Yeah,
because
well, I was
they had
thinking it
their
was too
final
late for
meeting
this
in
year,
the year
but
because of Christmas, there's no December meeting.
Couldn't you still just put it on the TV if
Oh, we
anybody
could do
donated,
that.
we could find a place for them? I mean,
We've
I
had
know we've had
5 or
in the
6
past-
trees donated already this year.
yeah,
Points.
so put it on, it'd be great.
Poinsettias we plant. We've had owners donate poinsettias to the office and we plant them around the property.
Just got
Nice.
a whole bunch
Oh,
of
God,
them,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
But I think a list would be helpful too.
One final comment before we get to the owners. Again, I want you all to have a happy Thanksgiving. For those of you that are traveling, travel safe. All right, enjoy your meals, enjoy your families, enjoy your property. Any other owners' comments? Okay, the next meeting will be the board workshop, will be December 11th at 10 a.m. at the office. The next board meeting will be December 17th, 2 o'clock right here at the church. And a motion to adjourn is always in order.
I so moved.
Motion made.
Second.
Get out of here, folks. Enjoy your holiday.
Yeah.